Hello, Kaz here. I attended the pre-forum workshop at the recent summer forum. This particular workshop, presented by Dr. Jiang and Associate Professor Lorraine Bennett, looked at all things to do with flow theory and optimal learning experiences. This is a short presentation on my key learnings and insights from this particular forum. Since the kids have left home, my husband and I have been able to travel a lot more. Travelling means that I have been able to indulge in a little hobby of mine, which is photography. Last summer, whilst holidaying on Flinders Island, I got lost. Or to be more exact, I lost myself. What a day I had. It was a glorious day. I drove where fancy dictated. A day out. There was absolutely no expectations on my time for the afternoon. My motivation was simply to enjoy what the day offered and set off to explore the island. So I spent my entire day. I drove where fancy dictated. There were no other expectations on my time. Most inlets, my motivation was to enjoy what the day offered. And so my day was spent exploring the islands, more than the inlets, bays and cemeteries. For me, time just stopped, and I became totally absorbed in the pleasure of the experiences and the challenges it presented. I lost complete track of time. The day flew by. I felt free, and I experienced a great sense of clarity. Apparently, it wasn't until I went to the summer forum that I discovered that on that particular day on Flinders Island, apparently I was in the flow. Attending day one of the summer school forum, Dr. Jiang introduced us to the work of Macaulay. Guys, forgive me, but I just can't seem to get my mouth around Macaulay's surname, so I am going to refer to him in his Christian name. Jiang introduced us to Macaulay's work and his theories on motivation, student engagement, and the idea of optimal experiences, or what's commonly known as flow theory. Flow is described by Macaulay as a state of consciousness or state of concentration so focused that it amounts to absolute absorption in an activity. The day that I found myself on Flinders Island, snapping away photographs for hours on end, there was one particular occasion where I was on Lily's Beach, and I had been there for a number of hours, absorbed in the moment, catching the light, waiting patiently for the clouds to disappear or move so I could actually get an opportunity to really capture some beautiful colour in the water. I was so caught up in what I was actually doing that I didn't realise that there were a small cluster of pesky little bees starting to hound me. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem. However, I am actually allergic to bees. So it took me a little while to come out of that moment, to come out of that optimal experience, to realise that, gee whiz, Kaz, best get yourself in the car, because there were some angry looking bees who were determined to potentially sting me. Jiang suggests an activity or experience requires some of the following characteristics. if an individual is to achieve a state of flow. Like myself on Flinders Island, the activity needed to pose a challenge, yet at the same time not to be beyond the capabilities of the individual. Action and awareness need to be integrated. The task needs clear goals. My goal was very clear. Wherever the moment took me, I just simply had to find that time, that moment, and take those photos. Concentration needs to be at its peak. Yep, I had that concentration so much that I didn't even realise the bees were buzzing around me. Immediate feedback needs to be guaranteed. In my case, I have a digital camera, so I was able to see the results of my efforts straight away. The task to be an optimal experience needs to evoke deep enjoyment and a sense of greater clarity. The task or the activity needs to create a sense of timelessness. My day on Flinders Island, I lost the entire afternoon, but it didn't matter. I also found that I became totally self-conscious, I lost my sense of self-consciousness. Usually if I have a camera in hand and I've got a group of people around me, I find that I'm very self-conscious. But on this particular day, I had no pressures, nobody around me, so I just was able to enjoy myself. And of course, an optimal experience, Macaulay suggests, motivation is very, very important, and especially of an intrinsic orientation. The flow theory holds we reach an optimal state when we are intrinsically motivated. It recognises a balance needs to be found between the skill level of the individual and the challenge offered by the task or experience. Jiang also pointed out the relationship of achieving a flow state is also dependent on an individual's sense of control and arousal. On Flinders Island, I was in the flow. Looking back over last year and turning my attention now to my student cohorts in both semester 1 and semester 2, can I confidently say that my students found that flow? In one of our first workshops, my students shared their reasons for enrolling. Each student saw this particular course as an opportunity to progress their career or position within their respective companies. So I know that every single student in both semester 1 and semester 2 were, to borrow from Macaulay's descriptions, intrinsically motivated. Can I say that the course design, my instructional style, the content, created a set of challenges that were on par with my students' existing skill levels? Did I see them reach a flow-like state? I'm not so sure. Last semester, the workshops that I conducted on a regular basis was always hosted on a Friday afternoon between something like 2 till 5 o'clock. So I recognised that there was one challenge there where it's very difficult for people to get so lost in the moment and become so unaware of time when it's the end of the week, work has been hectic and the weekend looms. So I'm pretty sure that I've still got a fair bit of work to do to actually facilitate experiences and tasks that enable my students to become lost in their task and reach that optimal experience. And it does make abundant sense that if we as educators are able to facilitate those optimal experiences and deliver tasks that meet the core requirements, then the concentration, interest, and experience of our students will peak.